Oh, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Regina Phalange. Good morning and welcome to Whenever You Are. I am Bandit Haze and today I'm going to be talking about 90s sitcoms. But before I do, let me first paint a little picture for those who might not remember. The 90s was a time of high tops, shell suits, and the very best dance moves ever. We had the running man, the shuffle, the bogle. It was a time when drum and bass, or jungle as we called it, was big. Me a the nutter, original man, nutter, original man, nutter, original man, nutter, original man. And also for me personally, it was a time of discovery. As corny as that sounds, it's true. Discovering new music, different types of movies, and it was a time when I really started to, shall we say, notice girls. I started in the 90s as a weird little awkward kid and ended in the 90s as a weird, tall, awkward teenager. And when it came to television, I watched a lot of television during the 90s. TV was just better. Back then it was good, wholesome family entertainment. These days it's just all swear words and boobs. That's why you can't watch TV with your family anymore. I mean, imagine you and your dad getting an erection at the same time over the same woman. Exactly. Now look, I don't know the scientific whatever, but I'm pretty sure that's what causes the world to implode. It makes it hard to look your dad in the eye at least, because you know it's at that exact moment that you both silently agree to never talk to each other again. Anyway, let me talk about some of my favorite 90s sitcoms, starting with Friends. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Friends is probably the most successful sitcom of the 90s. It's been nearly 15 years since it ended and it still generates a big buzz. The general plot was 6 friends in their 20s, 30s living in New York, following their lives, their careers, and of course, trying to find their lobsters. Friends fans, we get that one. Back when Friends was on TV, a lot of the talk around the show really focused on which girlfriend you fancied the most. Or at least that's what we were talking about. But now, I gotta be honest, it feels weird and disrespectful to talk about them in that way. Especially when it's so obvious that Phoebe was by far the prettiest. It's just not fair on the other two. Alright, I'm just playing. Look, it doesn't matter who the prettiest was, but Phoebe was definitely the strongest and secretly the most intelligent out of all of them, so people need to respect the Phoebes. Here's the thing about Friends though. It is possibly, and I can't confirm for certain, but it's possibly the only American 90s sitcom that never did a very special episode. Because there's this thing where once in a while a sitcom would pull aside the jokes to get super serious so that they can deliver a very important message. Like Blossom and Saved by the Bell would practically do them all the time. Saved by the Bell did them so much, you start to wonder why anybody even bothers with Zach Morris. I mean, this dude was forever learning his lesson at the end just to do something stupid again in the next one. The last episode of Saved by the Bell should have been Zach Morris waking up in a mental hospital because it was all in his head. It would have explained so much. Anyway, I think the most serious Friends ever got was when Monica and Chandler were having trouble making a baby. But even then, it wasn't the whole episode. Apparently Chandler doesn't last that long. Now the next one I want to talk about is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there and tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel-Air. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was classic personified. When this show started, for me, and I think for a lot of other Brits as well, I'd never even heard of Will Smith. I knew nothing about his rap career before then. I was just randomly searching through the channels when I saw the first episode was about to start. Though to be fair, we only had 4 channels back then. Yeah, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless you had Sky or cable or something like that, you had 4 channels. Poor people had 4 channels. So it wasn't exactly a needle in a haystack. It was more like a needle in a 3 strands of hay. But it turned out to be a great show, and I remember the next day at school, everyone was talking about it. And speaking of very special episodes, The Fresh Prince didn't do as many as Saved by the Bell, but the ones that it did do really got you in the emotions. Like when Carlton accidentally overdosed on speed, or when Will got shot, or Ashley decided if she was ready to lose her German accent. Fresh Prince fans, we get that one. And the one when Will's estranged father shows up only to abandon him again? I can't even watch that without crying. I mean, I don't cry. I meant some people can't watch that without crying. Stop interrogating me! Daddy! By the way, I don't know how many people know this, but Jeffrey's last name in the show was actually Butler. So the big thing about The Fresh Prince was the two Aunt Vivs. Janet Hubert seasons 1 to 3 and Daphne Maxwell Reid seasons 4 to 6. And I don't know if the truth of what exactly happened is out there. There's a lot of different stories floating around, from pay disputes to cast not getting along to unreasonable demands, a lot of he said, she said. But whatever happened, I think it's fair to say that after Janet Hubert left, the Aunt Viv character took a massive hit. The new Aunt Viv didn't have as much of a presence, and her relationship with her sisters didn't seem as authentic either. And that's nothing against Daphne Maxwell Reid, by the way. I just think that's how the character was deliberately changed in the show. But on the bright side, it meant that they could focus more on developing Will's relationship with Uncle Phil. And honestly, that whole dynamic and development was one of the best things I've ever seen on TV. Especially at the end when Will says to Uncle Phil that when he came out he was just a relative, but now he feels like he's part of the family. It was just... And the last one I want to talk about is Bottom. We got some half-price crack tires and miles of carpet tiles, TVs, deep freeze and David Bowie LPs, ball games, gold chains, what's his names and leather goods, and Trevor Francis track suits from Emotion Shepherd's Bush. Okay, so Bottom didn't actually have lyrics in its theme music, so that was from another sitcom. And if you know which one, put it in the comments. Bottom might not be as popular as the previous two I talked about, at least not outside of the UK. But this show pretty much defined a huge part of the things that I find funny. It was rude, it was violent, it was so silly, and it was just effing marvelous. And for the people who watched Friends recently and thought that was too offensive for modern times, don't watch Bottom. Available on Netflix. If you're outside the UK, don't use a VPN to access Netflix UK service, of which you can find many offering a free trial period. If Bottom was made now, even I might be like, yeah, I think you've gone too far. But back then, in my opinion, it was British comedy at its best. There were only ever 3 seasons with 6 episodes each, but it would just have me in stitches, it was that funny. It was like a woman with a smashing blouse. And Bottom fans would get that one. They also did 5 live stage shows, which were just like the TV show, but way more outrageous. And they also did a movie called Guest House Paradiso, which was... You know what, just watch it, it's brilliant. Okay, so I can't talk about every 90s sitcom, but let me just mention just a few more of my favorites. Men Behaving Badly, Only Fools and Horses, This Time Next Year, We'll Be Millionaires, Red Dwarf, Kenan and Kel, the show that shall no longer be named, Moesha, Mo to the, E to the, Mo to the, E to the Sha. Blossom, Saved by the Bell, Roseanne, Home Improvement, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Sister, talk about a two-way twister. Cheers, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, Third Rock from the Sun, News Radio, and so many more. But one special mention to Beavis and Butthead, because it was technically a sitcom, even though I don't think most people would think of it that way. But in any case, one of the very best TV shows ever made as far as I'm concerned. Rest in peace to James Avery, rest in peace to Rick Mel, and to the countless people who have brought joy to so many over the years. Thank you. And that was 90s sitcoms. What do you think? Daddy, I need $300. Or, we were on a break. Let me know down below, and if you liked this video, give it a like and share it amongst your friends. If you did not like it, then give it a dislike and share it amongst your enemies. You can check out more videos over here, gaming/vlog channel over there. Subscribe and follow me around the web over there. Hit that notification bell as well. All links are in the description, but that is all for now. So thank you for watching, and until whenever, if ever, it's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Do 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 do.